Hey, John Samez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I've got a question here that I've been getting a lot from a lot of different people that are either doing Pluralsight courses or they're trying to do online videos. And so I thought I'd answer this question, for everyone who's asked this question here. So this question in particular comes from Ronnie, and he says, "Hi John, I've received my starter pack from Pluralsight, and I'm going to do the audition video at least to see how it goes. I was wondering if you had any tips on selecting courses and producing courses quickly. My main concern is finding the time to do this between my job, blog, and pet projects." So there's definitely some things to consider when doing online courses. So obviously I've done a lot of courses for Pluralsight, but there's other places that you could do online courses. You could even do YouTube tutorials on YouTube. But what you really want to do when selecting topics, and this is going to apply to most people. Now, it's not going to apply to everyone because you might have a specific advanced field or topic that you're in. But for most people, what you really want to do is you want to try to pick sort of beginner topics. And the reason why I say that is because, at least if you want to be as most successful or reach as many people, is that there's always more beginners than there are intermediate and advanced. The other thing about picking beginner topics is that if you have advanced topics, you're going to have a lot more criticism, right? So beginners want to learn from you and they're appreciative, whereas a lot of times someone who might watch an advanced topic, if you do an advanced type of course, although it may be valuable, they're going to have their own opinions and they're going to be more likely to rate you poorly or think you're wrong. So that's why you actually don't see that much advanced content, is because of that. So again, I would suggest picking mostly beginner topics. It doesn't mean you can't ever do intermediate or advanced, but you want to have the bulk of what you do towards the beginner side. And then as far as producing courses quickly, obviously I can't go over my whole process in this video because it's a fairly long process, but I'll give you some sort of quick tips on how to do it. The number one thing is to limit the scope of what you're trying to teach, right? So, you're not going to teach an entire course on all of physics. It doesn't make sense, or an entire programming language from start to finish. Instead, you're going to pick like a narrower scope. So even if you're going to teach on a programming language, maybe you would teach the basics for a beginner, right? And so that's going to limit the amount of stuff that you have to do, and it's also going to make it easier for you to teach and convey ideas. The other thing about creating a course is you want to have it sort of planned out ahead of time. You want to know exactly what you're going to teach, and you want to try and basically script out and schedule out your time. So, I mean, for being productive in any regards, I would suggest this technique, but definitely when you're producing videos, there's a lot of context switching, a lot of different things that you're doing, right? I mean, you're going to be learning material yourself, producing outlines, perhaps slides, and then finally recording video or screencast. And so if you try and just wait till you have 5 minutes here and think today I'll work a little bit on my thing, it's not going to happen because you need big chunks of time to do these things, and you want to be able to batch things up. So frequently what I'll do is I have my schedule planned out. I know what days I'm going to do what, and I try to batch things up. So I might do all my research and learning all at one time and create an outline as a result of that, and I've got that batched up, and then I might create all my slides for the course that I'm going to create all at one time, and then I might batch up a bunch of recordings, spend all day recording, because there's a lot of context switching involved, and the more that you context switch, the more time that you're going to waste. So I'd say really the big thing is that you're not going to have any success if you don't plan this out. If you keep on thinking that you're just going to do this on when you have some time, when you have some free time, that's where people end up taking months to produce their courses. You got to have the schedule and a rhythm. For me, for creating my Pluralsight courses, I had 3 modules I did every week. That was my quota, and I made sure that I got those done. And by having sort of a quota system, if you're a little more curious about that, you can find, of course, in my book Soft Skills, I've got a chapter chapter in here that talks about the quota system, and I talk about my productivity techniques, and I think that you'll find that to be helpful in general for getting anything done. So thanks for the question, Ronnie. A lot of people have been asking about it. At some point, I might produce a more in-depth topic or video on this, but for now, hopefully that helps you out. If you like this video, if you like the Simple Programmer podcast, definitely subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.